Hello everyone, I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to our MBA Watch Profile of the Week, sponsored by mbaMission. So, our candidate today is someone who calls herself Ms. BFA To MBA. She's a creative type, clearly a poet, not a quant, has an undergraduate degree from the University of Tampa in digital arts and design, did really well, 3.96 GPA. She has a 700 GMAT, she's 25 years of age, and she has a really cool job. She now works on attraction, design, and production on Universal's Epic Universe theme park. You don't get many of those in the MBA applicant pool. She's worked at this company for 3 years, the first two as a design associate, and the last year as a show coordinator. She wants to ultimately get her MBA and return to the themed entertainment industry in a more strategic role. And her number one target school, Dartmouth Tuck. To assess our candidate, we have Nisha Trivedi of mbaMission. Hi, Nisha.
Hi, John. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So I kind of like her because she's sort of different. What do you think?
Absolutely. I love when I see candidates and feel that, they have a very distinctive background. In her case, clear passion for the themed entertainment industry. And it's one of those candidates where I want to take her out to coffee and understand just what's her life story? How did she become so interested in this very, very specific space? And I think it's going to intrigue the admissions committee at Tuck as well.
The one glaring thing here is that 700 GMAT and the fact that while she did really well in her undergraduate years, it was a soft major. And so that GMAT score, what do you think of it?
With the GMAT score of 700, it's definitely not out of range for Tuck by any means. Tuck's average, I believe, is about a 710 last I checked. I think, though, to your point about her major, digital arts and design, what Tuck will wonder is, can this candidate handle the analytical rigor of her program? And so what she'll want to do is provide them with evidence of her quantitative ability. With the GMAT, it's going to be important that her quant subscore in particular is strong. And if not, I would certainly encourage her to give it another try. And then in addition to that, a couple of other things she can do. One, she can think about taking a quantitative course. One that I recommend a lot to candidates is a online course called UC Berkeley Math for Management, but there are others. There are statistic courses, accounting courses that she can take. And if she gets an A, that's really going to go a long way towards impressing the admissions committee. And another thing I would do is to highlight any quantitative duties that she has in a role. Like, for example, does she analyze budgets? Does she have to crunch data in other ways? And so she would want to make that very clear on her resume and in her applications. And as a bonus, if her recommenders can speak to her analytical ability, that would provide additional evidence that the admissions committee would find very helpful in evaluating her background.
That's really a lot of good advice for her, for sure. The other thing here is she mentions that she secured a full-time internship at Universal Creative, which led to the full-time job, among thousands of applicants. I know that admissions committees tend to like people who have already moved through a fine filter of selection. Is that something she should mention in her application?
Absolutely, and this is something that she can mention in her resume. She can even show that progression clearly, that she was an intern from these certain dates, and then what were her other dates and positions. And she could mention in the bullet that selectivity rate. Admissions committees love seeing those sorts of numbers to show that somebody was at let's say, the top of their analyst class, or one of few people selected for a particular opportunity. So I think that's definitely something that she should highlight.
Now, Nisha, I know you're not a fortune teller, but still, I want you to basically read her cards. What are her odds at Dartmouth Tuck?
If she's able to emphasize her quantitative strengths, let the school really get to know her and her motivations behind her desire to keep making an impact in the entertainment industry, and if she's able to really emphasize why she's excited about Tuck in particular, why she feels that program is right for her, then I think that she definitely has the potential to do well. If I had to put some numbers around it, I would say Tuck's acceptance rate is, let's say, roughly 22%. I would take it a little higher than that. So let's say 35%, because I do think that, again, if she addresses these areas, then she is the type of candidate who will make them stand up and take notice.
And I'm sure you would advise her to apply to more than just Dartmouth Tuck.
Absolutely. I really always advise candidates to apply to multiple schools. In her case, since she particularly highlighted that she wants to make an impact on the business side of the themed entertainment industry, I gravitate towards those schools that I know have strengths in the media and entertainment space. And specifically, those are UCLA Anderson, NYU Stern,
Right.
USC Marshall in LA is another option that I would urge her to consider.
Well, Nisha, thank you for that assessment. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Now remember, okay, if you are a certified poet and not a quant, and you have a GMAT that's sort of 700, which is 10 points below the median in that Tuck, you want to shore up your quant credentials. In other words, either you score well on the quant side of the GMAT or you do an alternative transcript, because even though you have a 3.96, it's in a soft major, and admissions committees want to know with pretty close assurance, like 100%, that when you get into the core curriculum, you're going to handle it without any difficulty. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. You've been watching our MBA Watch Profile of the Week, sponsored by MBA Mission.